But I suppose, Grant, the birthday boy, we're going to kick her over to you for Curveball of the Week.
Well, as we just talked about at the beginning of the podcast tonight, I just traveled this last weekend. Dylan traveled this past weekend. Ethan is traveling upcoming weekend. Everybody has a traveling story that's just an absolute disaster. So I want to know your guys' worst traveling experience so far in your life you've ever had. Worst experience.
Ooh. Oh, this is easy.
Ooh, okay. This. I have this one. It took a little bit, but this is by far the worst. The worst one. And knock on wood, I've been lucky that I've avoided most travel situations since then. But when I was 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
And it was first time on an airplane flying to Denver. My dad won trips at a DSU basketball game. Playing bingo, which was DSU's mascot called the Blue Hawks. So instead of bingo, they would call it Hako, and you had to get an H on your bingo card to win. My dad been playing it. We've gone to games for years, playing it, and this time they were giving away tickets to Denver from the Dickinson Airport, which was called Great Lakes Airlines, which tiny ass planes. Not probably the first type of plane you're going to want to go on, but Here we are. We're going, and we're going to go to a Rockies game, Six Flags, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. We go on the trip. It was a lot of fun. And then we're flying back, and we're getting ready. We're circling over Dickinson. I could see the ballpark. I could see the football stadium, everything. Couldn't get a weather report, so unable to land. So we end up having to emergency land in Williston, which is 2 hours north of Dickinson. And we're sitting there, we unload, and we're kind of waiting to figure out what's going to happen. And they're like, well, nothing today because they're not going to be able to get it up working until the morning. So you guys, we'll cover your hotel, everything like that. And you guys go stay at a hotel, come back in the morning. Plane will be ready for you guys. We'll go from Williston to Dickinson. So all that, like 2 hours of sleep, get up, go to the airport, fog in Dickinson. So can't fly. So they call and tell us like, well, we have a limo on the way. They're going to go drive you to Dickinson. And it was like, oh, cool. Limousine, get to ride in a limousine. Never got to do that again. Never, ever again do I want to ride in a limousine. Me and my parents' sister, and then probably like 8 other people in a limo driving back with this dude that looked methed out, like had like no teeth, long hair, and driving us home, and he just ripped Marlboro cigs the whole way home. And it smelled so bad.
Oh my God.
And we're all just sitting there. It was uncomfortable. Like I thought I was gonna throw up.
Was it Marb Reds?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He just had a big old carton just sitting on the dashboard.
Oh God.
And it was one of the worst experiences. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember I don't think he smoked. No, I'm probably exaggerating that part that he smoked, but it reeked of cigarettes. And
nice.
It was like, we get out and I'm like, I look at my mom and I go, I'm never riding in a limo again.
That's awesome.
Just absolutely ruined it for me.
Mine has to be freshman year of high school, band trip, bus down to Florida.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
no.
you driving what? 20 hours straight down there? You ain't getting no hotel. You're sleeping on the goddamn freaking bus. So just think of laying on the bus on the ground while you're going over bumps at 80, 75, whatever miles an hour around mountains in Tennessee. And I'm laying underneath seats because I didn't want to lay on the seats. I wanted to lay on the ground. So I'm laying on the seats. We hit a bump so big, I flew up. I smacked my freaking head underneath the seat. I legitimately thought I had a concussion. Like, gash right down the middle, kind of bloody. I'm just like, oh, like, what the? And then there's people. Then there, oh my god, it's just people puking on the way. Like there's some bug going around. It's like half the bus is puking. On the way back, we make it down there. The trip itself was fun. I'll give the trip a solid B. The only thing that weighs it down is like the F- of the bus ride there. But then on the way back, I don't even know where we were. Somewhere in Illinois, and of course it's Illinois. Where you're so close to home. You're almost there. You're about ready to never talk to any of these fuckers again in your life because you just hit them after 40 hours on a bus. And some trucker falls asleep and jackknifes across the whole interstate. You sit there for 6 hours because there's nowhere to go.
Oh no!
I almost walked home. I was like, you know what? This is stupid. I give up. Like,
did you get home at the same time?
I literally, I could have hitchhiked, and at that time it was safe.
Oh, that. And then, dude, you're at that awkward stage in high school. What if some dude falls asleep and he just gets a hard on right in front of you?
I didn't see that happen, but I know a couple people that got
only
it.
Grant would think about that.
A couple people I know put up the blanket and they had some fun.
Oh, hey,
oh jeez.
He let everyone know. Don't worry, he was very happy about it.
And he should be happy.
But the best thing was there was a guy. He was a senior. Had his dad's credit card, and we go to Cocoa Beach or whatever, and there's a porn shop there. So he goes and buys a bunch of porn movies. So he goes into his room, and we had a password in order to get into his room. You'd go look at the door. You'd knock twice and go look around. Wade's mustache, because Wade was his dad. That's how you got in. So you look in the window, there's like 10 guys just staring at this screen when you walk in there, and I'm just like, this is weird as shit. Like, I can't do this.
No kidding.
It was so weird. I'm like, who would have thought of this? Like, he spent like $120 on porn videos on his dad's credit card.
Could you imagine the dude's wife opens up the credit card statement and said, "Hey, dude, what's going on here?"
It's fine. He was adopted from Romania, so he didn't care.
Oh yeah, no care in the world.
No, where'd Dylan go?
I think we lost him.
Dylan is dead.
Dylan.
Well, I don't know how the show's gonna end, so I don't have access to that. Dylan, are you ever gonna come back, buddy? Should we call him?
I think we should. This is kind of getting concerning. He just disappeared.
This isn't good. That's called Dirty Dan. Let's give him a little jingle. This is good television. This is fun.
I got a dog in my room, but my camera's not letting me.
No! I thought he was coming back for a second. Boone is basically dead on the couch. He's having a good night.
Hannah's got to be pissed. He's taking her spot.
No, they were cuddling.
Oh, well, good for them.
I sent you a nice video of him dreaming, chasing some wabbits.
Some wabbits, silly wabbits, trick kids.
Yeah, wow, this is weird. I don't know what to do. We're still recording. Okay, that's cool.
So we've gone rogue. It's Grant.
Yeah, literally,
Grant and Ethan have gone rogue, folks.
He didn't answer, so.
Hold on.
Hey, we made
it.
Hey!
My computer died.
Nice.
So yeah.
We talked about your mom the whole time.
What's that?
We talked about your mom the whole time.
Oh,
how Jolene, and she's an angel, and she deserves better than you.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, she is. She's a much better person than I am. But hopefully, let's see here. See where I'm trying to turning back on now. But that needs to get fixed. That
seems like a user problem, not a computer problem.
Well, one of my the outlets on my computer, the plugins does not want to work.
What a shame that is.
It's not ideal.
So there's that. Let's see here. But anyways, Grant, you're up. So what is your
All right, so in terms of travel stories itself, I don't have one that was an absolute disaster.
My God, it's double Dylan.
What is going on?
There it is. Okay.
That was
all right. So
2 Dylans is more than enough.
That was too many Dylans, if you ask me.
Probably one.
But shit. I don't have really too many travel stories where it's a complete disaster, but I do have an awful travel story when I was trying to pick up Alec and Halima from the airport.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Oh God. So it's December of 2017. They come back from they're coming back from Cabo, and then Alec tells me, hey, we should be landing at MSP at about 9:45. All right, sweet. So
I have heard this story.
So at about 9:45, I hear my phone ring. All right, sweet, let's do this. Because they're flying from Cabo. They got a layover in Houston to MSP. Life is good. Well, they forgot to tell me that when Alec's dad booked the flight, there was a second layover in Chicago.
So they weren't flying from Houston to Minneapolis. They were flying from Houston to Chicago.
To Chicago.
God, what a shit show of a trip that is.
So the landing at 9:45 was true, but they were landing at 9:45 in Chicago. So then, by the time their layover took off, they were going to leave Chicago at 11:15 and get to MSP, I think, by like 12:30. Something else shit. All right, well, I'm going to set an alarm. I'm going to get to the airport, about 12:45, 12:50, because they've already done customs. It's midnight. They can get going. They can do their thing, whatever. Yada, yada, yada. Well, so I leave. I go to the airport. And then right as I just get in my car, as I'm driving to the airport, I get a call from Alec. And he goes, hey, heads up. They had to de-ice this plane. We haven't even left Chicago yet.
Oh.
This is midnight, correct?
This is midnight.
Yeah.
And I'm already driving, and I'm like, I really don't want to drive home. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home. So I go back. It's about 12:15 now. 20 minutes go by. Hey, we're still de-icing this plane. We haven't left yet. Oh my God. Okay, so half hour goes by. It's about 12:45. I finally leave, and I get to the airport. Waiting for him. I'm there for about what seems like 40 minutes. And then they finally land at MSP, and they call, and then they're like, "Hey, so because then at this point he got the Wi-Fi for the plane. He goes, "Hey, we're circling the airport right now for about 20 minutes. There's too much ice on the runways. We can't land." Just like
traveling in the Midwest in the winter.
So I'm at this point where I'm literally sitting in the no parking zone at MSP for what seems to be like an hour, just waiting for them to land, and they finally come, and they're just like, so, hey, we're here, but guess what? We have to check our bags, and we're at the farthest gate away. So it's going to be about a 15, 20-minute walk from when we get off this plane until we get our bags, and we're ready to go. So all in all, it's supposed to be 9:45 pickup time. It gets to be about 1:45 by the time I pick them up, and then I get home a little after 2 a.m. Well, I have to be at work the next morning at 7. I have to be at the gym at 7. I think I got about 3 hours of sleep with that, and it was just the worst god awful experience in trying to pick up someone from the airport. And luckily, ever since then, it's been smooth sailing. But what an absolute disaster that was.
Yeah, just don't go to MSP on Christmas Eve. Just no.
Good to know.
Yeah, my sister did that. My parents had to pick my sister up there this year, and it was an absolute disaster.
Oh my God, it's living hell.
It was awful.
Sounds terrible. I think the first one was the worst one. After that, I've been fairly lucky. Never had any issues with luggage or anything like that. Or, there was one time I was close. We were close to missing our connecting flight. I want to say it was either my senior year of high school or freshman year of college. We were going to Florida, and there was a mechanical issue with our flight to Minneapolis. And this was at the time when Dickinson had flights to Minneapolis, but the mechanic in Dickinson quit, so they had to bring in the guy from Bismarck.
Oh, no.
And it was going to be close regardless, but we take off, and they're like, where they say, like, if there's people that have to make connecting flights, because it was delayed, there's some that are cutting it close, please allow them to go and get so they can make it to their next plane. And our gate was completely opposite of where we landed. So it was me and some other kid. And luckily it happened then, because now we would have missed it. But it was me and this other kid. We're full on sprinting through the Minneapolis airport, running to our next to our gate, like across the airport. And we make it. I get there, and I'm like breathing heavy, and I go, okay, we're here. You guys haven't finished boarding yet, have you? And they're like, no, we were actually waiting for you. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I just dead sprinted, and you guys knew, and you were waiting for us? What? But we appreciate you being worrying and getting here as fast as you can. And I was like, huh. All right, well, we're getting on the plane. So not about 5 minutes later, parents and whoever else was on that flight showed up. We all got the board. We all made it to Florida. All things good.
Life is good.
Yeah. So I suppose with that, you guys got anything else?
Well, I know that Delta lost Ethan's golf clubs last year.
Oh, don't even.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. That's like more valuable than really anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd walk around naked if that meant if I got to keep my golf clubs.
Put on the show for the people.
Yeah. Well, not much to show, but
it's still a show.
It's something. Best way to put it, but but Ethan's going to Carolina, so he won't be with us next weekend. So Ethan, you enjoy that.
I hope I do. I get to golf. I can't complain.
There you go, Grant. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your birthday.
Should be good.
And with that, I suppose we'll wrap this show up. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out on all of our social media. Go give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at 3GTB Podcast. Go subscribe to our YouTube page where we'll be posting the video, the full episode, and the cut-ups of the show, which will be released Friday. And that puts a wrap on episode 66 of the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. Thanks again for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.